Tales from the Outer Rim.
Last time on Star Trek Online. We went to help a ship who said, thanks. Now can you help this other ship? We kind of bailed on them. We helped that ship. They said, hey, somehow we heard that the Breen are operating a dilithium mine. I don't know why that would be pertinent to anything, but we did find DEFERA prisoners there. We helped them. We killed the dude, the DEFERA dude, Sura. Said thank you. And now here we go with episode 4. We are receiving a distress signal from the Reva system. A DEFERA transport weathered a Breen attack, but they've taken heavy casualties and are requesting immediate assistance. My people do not have military ships, Admiral, and I am loath to send a lightly armored rescue vessel into such a dangerous situation. Please, you must do whatever you can to help them. Snow tubers, huh? And a rapid reload transphasic torpedo launcher. Okay. Captain, we're being hailed by a disabled DEFERA frigate. Putting it on screen now. Thank you for responding to our distress call. We were boarded by the Breen and have taken severe casualties. We could use any medical aid you could render. Please approach and beam over as soon as you can. Please beam over any medical supplies and personnel you can spare. We'll send your transported chief the coordinates to our trauma center. Ah, yes. By the balance! You couldn't have arrived at a better time. I need every available person to help with patients. I think the Breen take pleasure in causing pain. Few of our crew were killed, but many have been injured. If you want to help, I need someone at table 7. Take the patient's medical history and triage the injury. If it is a minor issue, go ahead and treat them so we can make room for another patient. Please, it hurts. Help me. What hurts? Left side. Disruptor hit from a Breen rifle. Please, I need something for the pain. Do you have any allergies? Metorapan. I was given it once and my airway swelled until it was completely blocked. I almost died. Metorapan is a very common drug to use to treat and manage pain, especially in patients with this level of trauma. It's a good thing we caught this. If this patient was given the wrong medication, the result could have been disastrous. Are you currently taking any medications? No. Have you been treated for anything related to this issue? How often do you think I'm shot by a Breen? Last time I saw a physician was 2 years ago. I was treated for polywater intoxication. Don't know what that means. When was the last time you ate? Midday? What does this have to do with anything? Why haven't you given me something for the pain yet? What were you doing before you were injured? I was repairing a power conduit in Deck 2 when the Breen came out of engineering and shot me. They didn't give me give me a chance to surrender. I wouldn't have even fought them. Okay. There are several medications available from the DEFERA medkits that we can use. There are several medications available from the DEFERA medkits that we can use to treat this patient's pain. Acinine, bicaridine, hydrocodone, metorapan, and morphinolog are all indicated for pain relief. Once the patient is stable, we can treat the disruptor hit directly with a protoplaser, which should fix the damage done to the cellular structure. Oh, I gotta go get the stuff. Right. Analgesics. And as no, whatever that one was, should be fine. Pain manager, sports related. Spasms, no. Serious trauma. Okay, so that should do it. The pain from the disruptor wound is subsiding. This feels much better. Thank you. The bicardine is having the desired effect, Captain. Now we can use the protoplacer on the wound to treat it without causing undue pain to the patient. Do I just use it? Use. Okay. Kaboom! No? Okay. Speak to Dr. Kose. Good work with the last patient. Has anyone ever told you you have a talent for medicine? No, I'm usually better at putting bullets in people. I need someone to check out the patient on table 3! I would appreciate any help you can give us. Mother, is that you? What hurts? An elder boy named Tosca used to take my favorite toys when I brought them to school. If I tried to fight him to get them back, he'd break the toys so that no one could play with them. My mother said Tosca was out of balance. Do you have any allergies? I hated the taste of my mother's stew when I was young. She tried to convince me that it tasted like spring. I thought it tasted like bugs. Are you taking any medication? I used to play in the mud every time it rained. My mother thought I'd get sick from playing outside in the cold and the damp, but I never got sick, not even once. Have you been treated for anything related to this issue? I loved it when my mother would sweep me up into her arms and hug me tight. She smelled like love and cooking herbs. When was the last time you ate? I used to pick berries with my sister on the hills, overlooking the farm where we grew up. They were tart, so my mother would sprinkle granulated clava honey on them. What were you doing before you got injured? My father used to sing rhymes to me when I was a child. I would fall asleep in his arms and have the best dreams. This patient appears to be disoriented and unaware of their surroundings. I agree, Captain. It may be a symptom of brain trauma, but we cannot rule out a psychological breakdown until we do a mental status check. The stress of the brain attack may have been more than the patient's mind could process. Do you know your name? My sister had a doll she used to call Ilka. Do you know approximately what time it is? I loved catching umek insects at twilight. The light from the descending sun would make their wings glow like golden fire. Do you know where you are? Can we have our dessert now? I've finished all my vegetables. Do you know what year it is? My sister is 3 years older than I am. That meant my mom let her do all the fun things while I had to sit and watch. Altered mental state. No kidding. There is something obviously wrong with this patient's mental status. I recommend that we scan the brain tissue for deep trauma. A hyperencephalogram should reveal if there is any damage. Hyperencephalogram. Let's just grab any old neural scanner. Don't need to make sure it's the right one. Okay. Captain, it appears there is a cortical implant in this patient's brain that is causing the disorientation and delusions. There is an extremely high amount of neural activity in the area around the implant. Perhaps if we were able to decrease the activity with an anesthetic, the patient would be more responsive. Anesthesia. Calming hyperactive nerve impulses has been known to interfere with cranial implants by decreasing their effectiveness. But is that what we want to do? Do we want to interfere with it? It's also been used gaseous to incapacitate large and not recommended for severe trauma. Okay, it's not you, that's for sure. Looks like it might be a nitrazine. Treatment might not cause temporary skin coloration. Okay. I think we're going with... No! Guess we're going with the one that Does skin irritation? Use Melanex. My father used to pick flowers for my mother that were the color of me. Melanex didn't seem to help. Perhaps you should try a different treatment. Beautiful. Alright. Anestazine? I love it, we're just slapping this dude with everything. I feel weird. Does that cloud look like a starship? I think I saw something like it once in a holoprogram about Federation vessels. Anestazine didn't seem to help. Now he's talking weirder. What? I guess we're going with our gut. Like 50,000 choices down the road. Here we go. Where am I? I remember the Breen attack, and there was this medic. He seemed sad. The Breen implanted me with a cortical implant and has been forcing me to relive memories from my past. Ah, see, it wasn't supposed to be there. It wasn't beneficial. Please help get it out of my head. I don't want to live like this. The E13 worked, Captain. Removing a cortical implant is a tricky process. We should confer with Dr. Kosa about how to proceed. Leave it to somebody else! I'm not familiar with any technology like this. Any attempt I'd make at removing it would be based on an educated guess. We have some captured Breen in the brig, waiting for transport to a holding facility. Perhaps you could question them. One of the monsters who did this to my patient might know how to reverse the process. Right. Sir, there are a few things you should know about the Breen before we talk to them. The Breen are a warrior race. They do what is expedient and will often take prisoners rather than kill. You get more work out of a slave than a dead man, after all. This may seem cold and callous to us, but to the Breen it is only logical. Survival and duty are more important to them than morality. The Breen are very concerned with personal honor. Do not insult a Breen's honor or suggest that they kill without cause, and you should be fine with your interrogation. I'll talk to you. What are you looking at, Starfleet? What's your name? Look at you, cowering in the shadow of Tottrell. What hope could the DEFERA possibly have against might like his? I will not answer your questions. Go bother someone else. Well, Tottrell has more power and vision than a pathetic being like yourself can possibly comprehend. The DEFERA will be the first to fall to his might, but they will not be the last. He will not stop until the entire Alpha Quadrant serves the Breen Confederacy. Someday soon, I will stand on the blasted remains of your homeworld and celebrate our victory. I will grind the remains of your leaders into dust under my boot's heel. Tottrell will be the man who makes this possible. Okay. Are you here to let me go? What's your name? I am Tran. Okay. Whole lot not helpful there. Torture me if you wish, but I will never betray the Confederacy! What's your name? Your name is Ellipsis? Cool. Interrogate Tran. What do you want from me? What kind of a monster are you? What are you doing here? I am a combat medic in the Fifth Order. I serve the Breen Confederacy. I was ordered to go to this system by my superiors. I am sure that you have encountered other Breen in the DEFERA sector. So what are you doing here? I am currently incarcerated in a DEFERA brig. I was captured near the bridge when my boarding party was overwhelmed by DEFERA security teams. While this ship may not be carrying military personnel, a 3-man boarding party stands little chance against 4 fully armed security teams defending their ship and their captain. We gave away the terrain advantage, and now we are paying the price. Huh? You must have known that this wasn't a military ship. Why did you attack it? I do not feel comfortable continuing this conversation. My commanding officer is in a nearby cell, and he can overhear everything that we are saying. While I do not agree with his actions in this matter, I respect his position of authority. I will not throw his dishonor in his face. Okay, so he's fully done now. Okay. Alright, now we go to... See over here? Enable acoustic dampening field. There it is. So he must have been commander. That's why he's purple. All audio signals entering and leaving this cell are being blocked by an acoustic dampening field. Okay. Your commanding officer cannot hear what we are saying. My superior thought that these DEFERA civilians might have the information for which we have been searching. While I might have disagreed with his choice of target, it is not a soldier's place to question his commanding officer. I think my dissension was the reason I was selected to join the assault on the ship's bridge, a dangerous task in the best of circumstances, and one that had the least chance of success. Did you object to your commanding officer about this assignment? I'm not sure how you run things in Starfleet, but in the Breen Confederacy, we obey our commanders. I may not always be pleased by what I'm ordered to do, but I understand that there is a goal that must be achieved, and that I may not have all the facts that my superiors do. Do you believe that the goal you are attempting to achieve was worth killing civilians? I didn't want to attack this ship. There is a nobility to being a soldier. When I enter battle, I know I could be killed. I know that others will die at my hands, but that is what we must do. It is part of being a soldier. Civilians are not part of this unspoken agreement. They do not wake up each day and know in their hearts that it could be their last. They should be out of bounds as targets for people like you and me. There is no honor in fighting someone who is unprepared to fight back. I regret that I had orders to kill these civilians. More than that, I regret that I carried out those orders. What were your orders? I am a combat medic. Normally, my task is to repair the injuries of my fellow soldiers. On this mission, I was tasked with capturing civilians alive and fitting them with subspace cortical implants. These devices are barbaric, even by our standards. We use them to obtain memories from the most obstinate of interrogation subjects. This particular implant has a subspace relay intended to capture and transmit these memories so that my superiors can sift through the secrets locked in our victims' minds, even as we moved on to implant more subjects. Why did you do this? What information did the DEFERA have that you needed so badly? I am not sure what exactly the commanders wanted to learn from these people. I can only guess that my superiors wanted information that they felt could be held by any number of the DEFERA population. The cortical implants were calibrated to bring long-term memories to the surface, even going back to the target's childhood. Perhaps they wanted to learn something that even a DEFERA child might know. What would the probe DEFERA know? Would the probe DEFERA know what memories were being searched? Perhaps, if they had the mental fortitude to recall the memories that were triggered during their interrogation. The pain from the implants can be quite intense. How do we remove the implant? The removal of the cortical implant is a very delicate procedure. The implants are intended to be strong enough to survive the interrogation process, but too difficult to be removed by the subject or by anyone else. I have worked with these implants for some time. Have your doctors talk to me, and I will tell them what they need to do to remove them. This is just the information we needed. I will round up a surgical team and we will begin the process of removing the implant immediately. I spent some time talking to the patient while you were in the brig. It sounded to me like the Breen implant was triggering memories from the patient's early childhood, many of them involving rhymes and songs. Rhymes and songs? Most DEFERA parents and grandparents sing to their children and tell them stories of our past and our traditions. A common theme in our songs is the preservers. We sing of their travels through the universe, their efforts to maintain the balance, and the Great Archive. My children are particularly fond of songs about the Preserver Archive, a hidden place where they left all of their technology and records of the ancient days. It's an interesting story, but I don't know if a place like that could actually exist. After all, we're talking about children's rhymes. Captain, the Breen must believe that the Preserver Archive exists. There is no other explanation as to why they would target DEFERA civilians in order to obtain information about nursery rhymes. Before we leave, Tran has requested to talk to you again. He's waiting in his cell. Thank you for returning. I know that helping you was the right thing to do, but because I did so, I can never return to the Breen Confederacy. Therefore, I would like to request asylum from the Federation. I, however, am not alone in this request. There are a small group of Breen that share my feelings. We know that attacking innocents is wrong. If you accept us, we would all like to join you. I will give you the information necessary to contact them. It may take some time before they are willing to respond. Your future actions will help speed up that process. We've sent a communication based on Tran's information. I can't be sure that it was received, so at this point I believe the only thing we can do is wait for a response. I must say I'm surprised any Breen could be capable of reason. Impressive work, sir. The DEFERA seem to have things under control for now. Are you ready to leave the system? I remember stories about the preservers from my childhood, and of course we have ruins linked to them on DEFERA, but I have never heard of an intact preserver installation. The Breen, however, are taking these stories quite seriously, and if the Breen manage to acquire preserver-level technology, they could shift the balance of power in the entire Alpha Quadrant. It's lucky that you were able to establish a connection with Tran. I believe he was sent by the powers to help maintain the balance in the galaxy, and I am grateful. I know your intelligence service has more questions for him, but after that, I promise I'll do what I can to see that he and any other Breen who disagree with their government's actions are not forgotten. One of your commanding officers was requesting to speak with you. You should consider meeting with them when you are done here. I guess I'll take the snow tubers. I don't even know what they do.